Hi everyone, this is Ants. Today I'm going to show you version 0.07 update to my GLTF Mesh Optimizer tool. And this tool allows you to automatically generate levels of details of your models so that you could use them in game engines, game libraries, and game frameworks that do not have any LOD generation support, such as libGDX. So if you're using Godot, Unity, or Unreal Engine, you do not need to use this tool, but there are some other game libraries and frameworks that don't generate them. So this tool is for them. So what has been added? There's two main features that were added to the tool. One is now I support KTX2 with BasisU supercompression. Now, your game engine or library will need Chronos Texture BasisU extension support. If you don't have that, then it will not work. And also, WebP, converting all textures to WebP is also included. That was in version 0.06, but now I added another texture conversion. Okay, so what's the value of KTX2? Well, it actually takes up less VRAM. It actually went down 90 megabytes. And now don't worry, I'll switch to the other one, but I want to export this. And I want to export to the E drive, select current folder, and there you go. And as you can see here, I know it's in small text, but it's a Chronos texture version 2 and 8 LODs. How big is it? It is 1.54 megabytes, okay? So keep that in mind, 1.54 megabytes. Now, let's go back to the uncompressed version. And as you can see, boom, it actually generated 8 LODs back without using any compression. As you can see, it's super quick. And let's export this. Select the current folder. And as you can see, look at the PNGs. They're 1.5 megabytes each. Let's get the total here. And it is 5.4 megabytes. 5.4 megabytes uncompressed, but if you use KTX2 with BasisU super compression, it's only 1.5 megs, 1.4 megs, right? So it's a humongous reduction in size. In addition to that, you're gonna have less RAM being taken up in your GPU. So that's the reason why to use it. One of the things, again, we're gonna show you is it actually takes quite a while to generate the LODs. And on big models, it's gonna take a lot more time. But you do get two things is on disk, it's gonna be smaller, and also in your GPU memory, your VRAM, it's also gonna take up less space. So let's export this again, right? And you might be wondering, why is this so dark? This is more an artifact of how Godot is translating the sRGB. It's the support for KTX2 plus BasisU super compression in Godot is still work in progress, but it does import them no problem. Okay, so I am gonna zip the first LOD and I'm gonna zip them. And the reason why is I'm gonna prove to you that everything looks fine on the website, which is right here. I already loaded this, but let's reload anyways. So I'm gonna drag and drop the zip file that I created. And there you go. So it looks fine. And it's gonna show you that the extension used is fine. There's some warnings there, but honestly, I honestly think there's no issue here. It didn't fail. And it's using the Chronos Texture BasisU extension, and it looks completely fine, no problem, right? So I'm proving to you that it actually generates valid KTX2 plus BasisU super compression, all right? So there you go. Okay, so there's some other quality of life things that I implemented. So one of the things that I got feedback from is if you load some models that are super big or super small, the camera doesn't adjust the distance and it doesn't point toward the middle of the model. So now I calculate the AABB of the model, and I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to use Leilu's as an example. Some of his models that he provided are so big and some of them are super small, so which is good. So I'm going to get the portal frame. This is a very big model. If I were to have loaded this on the previous version, I would be stuck in the base here and I wouldn't know where I was, right? So now it's pointing toward the middle of it. It's pushing the camera back. And the way it is it's twice the distance on the z-axis. So if you go 2 times 94, it's like, 188. And it's not perfect, but now you get to see where your model is much easier. The other thing is if you move your camera around and you load another model, and this is rocks that are super small, and I load this one, now it points toward the rocks, and again, it was actually pointing toward the middle of the entire model because this model has all the different rocks here and it's super small. So that's the quality of life that was added. Now that when you load a new model, so again, I'm going to be pointing toward the sun and I'm moving the camera far away, and I'm going to reload the portal frame here, and boom, it's gonna do a pretty good job. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's gonna do a pretty good job of making sure the camera is pointing toward your model and that sort of thing. And here's the wireframe and all that kind of stuff. So those are the 2 things that I added. I also did a refactor. Things are easier to change on the GUI, so I could actually make changes to the GUI here, and it doesn't require any code. I can move things around. It doesn't require any code changes. Okay, so that's basically it. The reason why I'm making this video is I have to update the link. So I have to create the video first. So then I have to update the link to the new video. And this is the reason why I created this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and have a great day. Take care.